My name is Omolola. You can catch me on Twitter at Ann Muiwa. Well, for now, that account is restricted. The same Jack that has now done an emoji to support NSAS is the one who runs Twitter, and we all know that some try to restrict those of us that are advocates, activists, and all that on Twitter. So we need to call on him. You cannot restrict the accounts of those who are asking people not to be silent. For so long, if you follow my Twitter page, you would realize that I said a lot about the fact that silence, silence is how Nigerians have been demonized. Silence was what we needed to stop in order for us to be able to speak out. I'm so happy that people are now speaking out. Proverbs 31 8 and 9 talks about, speaking out for the voiceless, speaking out for the vulnerable. That's what I've done in the last 2 years, just telling people you've got to speak out for widows, you've got to speak out for orphans, you've got to speak out for those who cannot speak for themselves. But guess what? This is not just about NSAS. If we make it about NSAS, soon enough we're going to be on the streets again to call out some other leaders about something more, something worse. So we have to make it about everything. I know that agendas are flying around. Agendas, about SARS, about reformation of police, but we need to do much more than that. While myself and my prayer partner were praying during a video just yesterday, God made us realize that this is supposed to be a rebirth, a new birth. So Nigeria at the moment is like a woman in labor. Are we going to give birth to something that is disabled, or to a child that has disability? Are we going to give birth to a reformation that is just short-lived, that is not going to live long? It depends on the destiny helpers. It depends on the midwives. I'm so happy that our youths and so many people coming out have rejected negotiation. We cannot negotiate bad governance. We need good governance. What are the 10 points agenda I have? What are the 10 points agenda I have put forward? I'll list them for you. One is end SARS. Of course, we need to end SARS. I was one of those who believed that we could reform SARS. But guess what? When something is cancerous, you need to take it out. If you don't take it out and it's malignant, then the whole body is deformed or affected. So we need to end SARS. Secondly, we need to reform the entire police force. For years, I was fighting a fraud. I kept advocating concerning the fact that in-laws traveled all the way to the US to perpetrate fraud against me. Guess what? We eventually pushed this case to the IG of police. And the IG, after quite a while, pushed it to the DIG for CID. Guess what? The officers under him demanded ₦1 million for them to move forward. So if I pay $1 million and then the criminals pay $5 million, what happens? We never get justice. We have not paid. They have refused to effect arrest. We've called on people to speak to them, but they have refused to effect arrest because what? They want their $1 million. So we need a reformation of the entire police force. Next, we need to criminalize all forms of abuse. It is not just about the reckless, the impunity, the reckless killing of youth and stuff like that. It is about all forms of abuse. We have to criminalize everything. Is it child abuse? Is the wife abuse? Is the wife battery? We need to criminalize all forms of inhumanity. We need to criminalize. Next, we need to criminalize ritual killing. Yes, a lot of ritual killings go on in Nigeria. Some people said days for oral. Some people said days for this and that. Guess what? When they're making sacrifices, they're not using their children. They're not using their wives. They're using who? They're using strangers in the land, and they're using children of other people. So it is time for us to criminalize it. Let's stand for something. If we want to stand for God, let's stand for God. If we want to stand for rituals, let's say that it's free for us. So let each family donate. If we know we're doing rituals, let each family donate so that we know we're all doing it together. But other than that, let us criminalize ritual killing. Next, we need to pay all the retired civil servants. All. My own mother lost her life because she was still struggling to maintain a farm after spending all her years working with Nitel and Net. She ended up losing her life. There was traffic. There was maybe construction on the road. She got there late. and she was a victim of whatever kind of murder happened to her. We still don't know the story till tomorrow. But it was because she still had to struggle after giving about 30 years of her life to civil service. We need to pay all the retired civil servants. Next, we need to ensure 24-hour power supply. Yes, we can do it. And how do we start? We ban generators, ban all forms of generating plants. We have the brain, we have the knowledge to make sure that as Nigerians we have power supply. We cannot be in darkness and expect to shed light. It is impossible for that to happen. Next, what do we need to do? We need to sack the Senate. Senate is why we are still struggling. GO bill has been there forever, nothing has happened. Child abuse has been there forever, nothing has happened. What are they doing? They're just chopping money. So we can either keep House of Rep and sack Senate, or sack House of Rep and keep Senate. But we cannot have both. Currently, they're one of the highest paid all over the world. Are we the richest country? No, we are not. Okay, what else do we need to do? We need to ensure that there is childhood education all over Nigeria, such that every Nigerian child receives childhood care. A child that is nurtured in love will never go into terrorism. A child that is nurtured in love will never go into armed robbery. Yes, there are some that will grow up reading, but there will be very few and far in between. So we need to ensure that every Nigerian child is educated. Once we do that, we would reduce street children. We will reduce those who become area boys and area girls and things like that. Next, what do we need to do? We need to overhaul the entire medical system. I once was in General Hospital, Lagos. A woman was brought in as a breach case. Guess what? They left her to herself. I had to stand over her in prayers until she brought forth. At the end of the day, guess what? They went to call the doctor. He was sleeping. By the time he woke up, he said, "Oh, what happened?" They said, "Oh, we've taken care of it." No record. If that child had died, if the mother had died, no record. They asked the man to go and buy stuff. He came back with the things he has bought, and they just, right there on the floor, she gave birth on the floor. We need to overhaul the entire medical system. Maybe when we make it impossible for politicians to travel out for medicals, maybe they will take care of us. There's a cancer center that was set up. You know what? Billions of naira. And it's been abandoned. New vehicles abandoned. We need a complete overhaul of the medical system. Finally, we need to pay those who are civil servants, those who are working to ensure that we have a normal Nigeria. We need to pay them what is commensurate all over the world, what is acceptable rates, that can help them to sustain themselves. We need to pay them well, whether they are doctors or nurses. When we do that, people will stop scrambling, lying, putting their lives on the line in order to go to other countries for what is called green pastures. Where can you find green pastures if not in Africa, where we are so blessed? I just thank you for listening. Our prayers are with you, Christian ministers all over the world. You are the midwives for what is happening in Nigeria. We have to stand with our youths prayerfully. Those who can go will go. Those who cannot go, make sure that you're praying and you're speaking. We all must be part of this. And at the end of the day, there's going to be a new birth. There's going to be a new Nigeria. We're looking forward to it, not just my children or children's children. I, Omolola, I'm looking forward to the new Nigeria. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Stay safe. Whatever you're doing, make sure that it's COVID compliant and make sure you're staying safe. Together, we will win. Oh yeah, Soros, okay.